Hello there everybody, and welcome back to episode 16 of my tutorial series for Songs of SYX version 65. Today, it's finally time. We're going to go and create some military. So today I want to fetch up the logistical part, like making all the gear, going over the intricacies of these things and all that. And in the upcoming episodes, we will be starting to use the military system then as well. So, first off, we can see down here in this section, the black parts, that's all the stuff that is military. We're still only importing leather armor, so the very first step that we're going to take here is we're going to unlock the missing technologies that we need. So, first start, we go down here to the bowyer. It's next to the carpenter. And this is the tech that allows us to craft bows. Pretty obviously. We unlock the makeshift armor tech, allowing us to craft leather armor. We unlock the plate armor tech and the falcata tech. So we are now capable of creating pretty much all the stuff that we require. We just don't have the workshops for that yet. So we're going to craft now small workshops. I have decided that I will make my whole military business go down here, as we're not really in an extremely fertile area there. So we're going to set up a small-scale bowyer. I make these workshops really micro, as I don't want to overdo this. As you see here, the production side requires metal, and it is therefore one of the more costly industries. But at the same time, it is also one of those industries that allow you to transform rather cheap materials in costly materials. So the bowyer has its economic, well, how to call it? Qualities. Yeah, that's how I would call it. We're going to go over there now and craft ourselves now 2 smithies with pretty much the same proportions. So we're going to make micro workshops today. So here goes, 6 employees. It's a very, very efficient little thing. Oh, I want the storage. There we go. And now we can just left shift click that, and we have that same workshop twice. The only thing we're now lacking is the tailor. That's the guy where we're making our leather armors at. So we're going to put down that apartment workshop there. And as you see here, I'm keeping the system here pretty much identical. I leave it up to you how you want to do it. At the end of the day, it's your city and your designs. This is just one method that I want to use that I know I can fulfill at this very moment. And these will create industries that don't suck me dry in terms of denarii and resource. So we're going to have to import leather now. If we want to create leather armor, we need leather to produce that stuff. The good part is we are currently importing leather armor, so we're just going to change that import to leather. That's not easy. So, do we have a warehouse here in the vicinity? Nah. So let's change that. We're also going to set up a little warehouse down here, as this will be one day in the far-fetched future, probably the place where we're mining. So some warehouse here won't hurt either. And since I want to do all the troop stuff here as well, we just need some place where we can store things. Alright. Meanwhile, our city is thriving. The orchard has now started producing, the second one that is. We have now an extra yearly production of 1,850 apples, well, fruit that is. So our production rate exceeds our consumption rate by far. So, well, spoilage is always an issue, but except for the issues with spoilage, we are now at the pleasant point where we can just do our thing. So the bowyer does require leather, so we're just going to send him sleeping. Ooh, just like that. Sleep well, little bowyer. we're going to go... that smithy ain't done yet. That's been tricking me. So, down here... Oh, I need 2 more. Down here, we can now create all manner of different metal items. But as you see, there is a lot of metal and coal involved. So, we're going to get ourselves plate armor. And in the meantime, we're just going to copy-paste that design 2 more times. So, plate armor, that one ain't done yet. And we need a storage for that. I will store it until further notice over here. So, I don't like that, but we'll have to do it like that. So, all that military gear will be stored for now there. And the leather. We need lots of leather, so let's make it like that. And let's head back to the import station. So the whole fuzz with the leather will take a moment until we have started importing that. I've set it to 100% import level. I think I don't want to do that, as this will punch a hole in my wallet. We're just going to start with just 10 of these. We have people on exposure, so that means there is not enough hearth to go around for these people, so we're going to put up one here in between. Whenever exposure happens, it's either you have not enough wood available, but that's clearly not the case, so we just require more of that. And the mystery of the 4 homeless people has been resolved by a wise commenter. So the thing is, my noble people are homeless. They would need chambers to be considered not homeless, but currently, the text warns you that it's very work in progress. These guys churn out the full profit without having a home. So you can put chambers up for the sake of role-playing. As far as I know, these should work as apartments for these folks. As soon as I have some gemstones in this run, I'll be testing that, so we know what's the matter there. So we don't want to produce tools here. We want to produce falcatas. So we got now plate armor. But as you see here, these guys are lacking coal. We don't have any coal imports. Alright. That's an interesting problem for a change. I mean, I have drastically reduced the amount of exports of my city by not exporting cut stone anymore. Currently, we're investing ore metal instead of selling it. Alright, so we got... Let's see, I forgot what kind of weapon I made here. Okay. We're going to configure that tailor to leather armor. And the real cool part about all this, though, is once this industry is in motion, we will have a nice amount of things that we can just sell for a steady profit. So, warhammers, and now we're fully staffed and geared out. The problem is just we don't have money right now, but that's a problem that can be resolved quite quickly. It's also the reason why I didn't put up a higher demand on leather. You clearly understand now why. So let's pause the game real quick. We reduced the amount of crates over here. They never were meant to be implemented here. There we go. And now we get ourselves our military stash going. So 10 crates of everything. Ah, well, that's actually not smart. You should not start with 10 crates of everything. It's way smarter to start with low stockpiles, as this allows you to export your products way faster. I'll keep it like that. So, the thing about leather is you can produce it yourself also with pastures if you'd wanted to. So let's put an auto-employ on this thing. And now we'll have to wait for a moment. The good side is my industry is well fit. to tackle this task. We just need to wait a little bit. And there comes in the first scraps of leather, and there's also a few pieces here being produced, so that means we actually see our first success here. Okay, let's set up a couple of export depots right away. So we need 7 of these. And that makes 5, 6, and 7. All right. Because for now, we're just going to sell that stuff. So let's check it out. So each and every one of these workshops consumes our resources. Let's check out how bad it is. We have a consumption of... well, that's pretty much most of my metal production. If I'd be letting these guys run, they'd be eating up all the metal that I got. So this is not really a option for us to have this running in the long run. But let's see if we can make a stable economy out of it. So we're just going to export these weapons entirely for the time being. Oh, we don't produce shields yet. How could I overlook these? I'm very sorry about that. This entire system is still very new to me, and therefore I didn't realize that there was this. So we're going to export only 50% of our leather armor, as we need that for our guards. Alright, so yeah, there's one for the shields. So let's see. Shields are produced by the carpenter, so we're going to set up another one of these. The entire detailed crafting of these items is entirely new to me. We haven't had that in the previous versions. I don't know if V65 had a couple of add-ons in this regard. I only know that the previous versions I had played had way less details in the gear for your people. Anyways, we're just going to set that up. No biggie. Let's check with the rest of our city. 2.2 days until the vegetable harvest. Alright. I just got a little bit nervous as I saw how low things went here. But several places get their harvest in very soon. The orchards still need a couple of days more, but all in all, my city is productive. Alright, so we're now selling away all that gear instead of keeping it for ourselves. This is, as long as you don't use the military for yourself, a pretty nice way of making sure that you will have an income out of these. Because at the end of the day, if I understand things correctly, we actually do have more income than expenses with that. So, since this all sucks to constantly need to import coal, we're going to mine out some coal for ourselves. Coal mining doesn't need a technology, and I think it's about darn time that we get ourselves some coal available. So it works now completely differently than before, as the mineral deposits are way richer than in previous versions. It's just like with the agriculture, you want to aim for a high percentile deposits number. The higher that number, the more stuff you can turn out. And as you see here, the workers count is beyond bonkers. Mines can just pick up so many workers. It's nuts. And as you see here, these auxiliaries also are scaling with the size of the mine. So at the same time, you don't want to put up that much of the auxiliaries on the area where your deposits are. So we're going to try to store the auxiliaries right next there. But mines are freaking large. They're huge monsters, and yeah. Therefore, don't expand too crazily. This place now has room for 200 workers. We can get up 200 people working here, or churning out coals. So we put up one storage module here, and this all comes as, this is the maximum daily amount. This looks much, but as a matter of fact, it's actually not really much. We're of course not going to use all the people. Not everybody will work in the mines after we have built it up, but it is a very, very good investment right now, as it will just free us from the burden of having to import our coal. That is something that I'm definitely looking forward to, because currently this is a weird bottleneck that we're suffering, but it is certainly one that we are suffering. So let's change that. Alright, so military has the same logic as many parts of the game. You should not aim for any military conquest or whatnot before you haven't set up a steady supply of things. A steady supply of things also includes drinks, so we're still not done on that end. So, all in all, setting up an army in this game, one that can travel over the map, is one of the bigger tasks. Let's see. We will now see a pretty nice overburdening. Okay, so for starters, we're just going to let like 20 people work here. Locally sourced coal. This will churn out 35 units a day. This is, I don't know how much my city consumes, but it'll definitely strain, it'll reduce the burden for the rest of the workshops. There we go. But it is already noticeable that our food income is just a little bit scary at the end of the year, isn't it? So let's do something about that real quick too. One foolproof way to achieve something is to get into the spoilage technology again. This allows us to store our food long-term better. We're also going to invest now into vegetable farm bonus for 500 tech, fruit farm bonus for 500 tech. I don't know if I need the grain farm bonus yet, but we're going to stick like that. These are small increases, but they are really powerful. So let's see how that'll work out. I'm clinging to my tech points a little bit, as these are really pretty annoyingly costly to achieve, as we need to bind workers permanently to these things. Alright, another thing that we definitely should now stop is importing coal. We totally should stop importing that much coal. The prices for that stuff exploded. Jeez, no wonder we are that poor right now. Alright. Meanwhile, we have a steady influx of Dondorian and human people, as they are happier and happier. It's nice, isn't it? Alright, so we can just employ a couple of people more, and just like that, our industry should bounce back on its feet. We can, of course, now check back with other materials. For example, we have a nice stone quarry available here in the mountain. We also happen to have a ore deposit down here, so we could mine out more. There's also some Sipholon over here, and obviously there's ore here as well. But there you see already, the deposit density is only 22%, 25%. That means we will churn out way less of a yield compared to what we have here. The ore deposit density down here is the same. That is exactly what we what I was expecting. All right, we're being extorted again. So, well, let's pay it up. It's annoying, but I cannot change it. The good part about it is I am now capable of exporting my coal instead of importing it. We're going to use the last of these bad boys here and start exporting that coal. We're just going to export what we got as an overproduction, and as a response to what has happened just that moment, we're just going to shoulder up 30 or so more people and put 15 of them into the coal mine. Alright, so it'll take a while for this to settle in, and we're going to go now over to the next thing that we require, army supply depots. So let's see, I don't know if they still work like they did before, so let me build one. It's the one thing I didn't check up in advance. Silly me. So we're going to put it up here. Alright, I'm going to build one for as an example. And then we're going to go over these. Because I don't know how many goods there are right now. In the previous version, you needed a supply depot for each and every good that the army requires. But since there's been so many new goods, yeah. Ah, yeah, clothes. Of course, I forgot clothes. I knew I had forgotten something. So these are the items that you require for your armies. These are 10 different items, so we're going to make 10 depots here. Bang. All these goods are required for your army to function in the overworld. All these goods will be only used if you want to use your army in this game, in this part of the game. The stuff that we're producing in the smithies and the such. Oh, housing like. Sorry, I need to fix this real quick. This stuff that we're producing here in the smithies. It's hard to think and do things at the same time sometimes. The smithy items can also be used for your local army. Your local army will use these items as gear for themselves. They probably already did. There, for example, yep, they picked up the falcatas to upgrade themselves. We're going to go over that in another video. Just wanted to mention that already. There is a very, very important difference between the army that you have in your city and the army that you have on the map. Very, very important to note. Alright, so let's see if the cases of homelessness will subside once we have those longhouses down. There's been a lot of new workers here. I'm very concerned about the food clock, but since we have upgraded technology-wise, I think we should be just fine at the end of the day. Okay, but you see here, we're definitely using up more coal than we are producing. The city is hungry in terms of coal. There are so many receivers for coal. Check just that bakery eating up 11 coal a day. But we bounced back from the negative already, so it's been that quick. I pick up more and more people and chuck them into the coal mines, as this just increases our profits right now. This stuff is very, very sought after these days, so we just kind of keep continuing like that. I'm gonna also continue building longhouses here as a new sort of housing battery for these people. I really did a horrible job in this save file in terms of road planning and whatnot. I'm really sorry about the city looking like crap, but I just can't explain and build a nice city at the same time. That's just... I cannot ask that much from myself. I hope you understand and forgive me for this eyesore. But it's an educative eyesore. Alright, so as you see there, mines are kind of like a bottomless pit. You can chuck in more and more and more and more, and it just doesn't seem like it is enough ever. So we can, at the same time, use mines as a reserve for all manner of different things. Mines have that wonderful property that the people working in there, well, they can be used for all manner of other tasks. If the need arises, you can always draw back people from the mines. So yeah, we're producing 1,000 pieces a year now. Jeez. And we are not really exporting any of it right now. as all of these products stay in the city for now. Pretty amazing. So we have 4 homeless Cretonians. Let's see. Yeah, just like I thought. We have built up so many houses at another end of the city, but they are not needed there. They are needed here. So we are going to put this up. This is going to be the exporters' homes. All right. And we've just climbed above 1,000 people here. All right, so far so good. The only things that we are going to need now are... Oh, that's not as intended. Are now another few tailors. So we're going to get ourselves a clothes tailor, a big one, down here. As we need now to overproduce these goods, it is now necessary to overproduce these. It will be not sufficient anymore to be just scraping on by. We need a steady and reliable overproduction of clothing and drink to set up an army. But as you see here, exporting the weaponry puts up a strain on the metal bill. We're practically always on the end of our metal income, but at the same time, our denaries are looking darn well. So we're going to go for another little thing that I meant to do for this episode. We're going to upgrade our smelters another time. So for a mere 1,000 knowledge, we can upgrade our smelters yet another time. At this point, you could also consider just building a new one, as this will be less costly in monetary terms. As you see here, we will require machinery for that. Machinery is insanely costly, but it is also insanely profitable. So let's go back there and check this. So machinery tech allows our smithies to create machinery. So we're going to go for that one as well. Just setting up another one of these micro smithies. And we're going to set ourselves up machinery. Alright. There is a possibility that we need to deactivate 1 or 2 of our armor producers now. Oh, and we need to set up an export stack for the shields as well. But at this very moment, weapon production is so freaking lucrative for us. We don't have any problems anymore with money whatsoever. We're getting rich. But this is just something that I wanted to have. And this is pretty good. Very so. What? Ah, we need... Sorry. I was wrong about that. We need a mechanics workshop. So in this scenario, you can always just delete a room. Resources are back. And we can just now leave the walls. We don't need walls right now, and we just slap it up in here. Just like that. It should work like that. I hope so. I sometimes have problems when I try to pull off tricks like these, but it should be simple enough. There we go. They just picked up the resources back there. So with our current wealth, it shouldn't be any problem for us to also upgrade the amount of imports at all fields. So we could, for example, set up larger stockpiles for leather and the like. Okay, so this guy consumes furniture and metal. So this is one heck of a costly workshop. But at the same time, well, mechanics are just... well... They spoil rather quickly, which is darned annoying. But they also are worth a lot of money. No, didn't mean that. And so... shouldn't there be a leather armor exporter as well? Ah, yeah, here. So we're going to lower the total amount there too. Okay, so the total metal production is not high enough to crank it up accordingly. I think the best way to go would be another metal smelter at this point and upgrade it accordingly. But since we're growing richer and richer, this is not much of a big deal anymore. So what I'm also going to do now is I'm going to stop exporting all of these items and start keeping a few for myself. Just a low amount. We're still exporting most of the stuff, but it allows us to use the military stockpiles later. We still just built them this episode and we didn't use them. I'm well aware of that. Alright, let's leave it like that. Okay, and that sums up the preparations for military. Of course, there's still two things where we're lacking. That's clothing and drinks, but we're going to fix that up in between. Not a big deal. It should be now only 1 or 2 tailor shops away. Let's see what we can do for that. And the next big topic is to understand how these things work. I mean, as you see here now, our conscripts are all fully geared out, and these guys are now much more dangerous than they were before. Anyways, thanks for watching for now. We're going to continue the next episode with more of that. We are now capable of gearing out those people. You now know everything you need to know to gear out your soldiers, and the next time we're going to talk about the other things, or something about city development. I'm not sure yet. We'll see then. So, leave me your comments down below. Thanks for watching as usual. I deeply appreciate you guys. Leave a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and check out the description box. There's lots of cool links there. Whoa, that's a lot of money. Thanks. There's a lot of cool links there, and among these, the playlist for the series and the link to my Discord server. So check it out if you'd be so kind. I'd be really happy. There's also my Patreon and my PayPal and my Buy Me a Coffee account there, and it would be really awesome if you'd give them a look as well. With a big thanks to all the supporters out there. I deeply appreciate, as well as I appreciate you watching this video until the very bitter end. Thanks for that. See you all next time. Have a wonderful day.